Alright, what's going on, all you cool cats out there? It's your boy Cool Convict Gaming, aka Ex Convict on PS4, aka DJ Cool Bro on Xbox One. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a deck, or basically show off the deck that I have for Kwang. It's called Cow, Son of L. And why I called it this is what you guys will pretty much know from me is that when I build my decks, I try to build my decks and form them behind superheroes that I love in the comic world, whether it be DC or Marvel. It doesn't really matter. It's just the inspiration I was getting when I was building the deck. So we're going to go over here to Cal, Son of L, and we're going to take a look at what it is. A lot of people have seen me play Kwang here lately. I'm almost a Master 10. Probably by the next time I make another video, I will be Master 10 with Kwang. Most people haven't figured out the proper way to lane with him yet. You know, they prefer to try to just run him around as like an assassin or a fighter initiator, and they're not really that effective from what I've seen. Kwang can actually be a real threat on the field, depending on how you're using him. So one of the ways that I actually try to use him is sometime as a tank. I have a couple other decks that I will go over in other videos that will show you other ways that I choose to use him. Today we're going to look at the tanky fighter initiators deck, Cal, Son of L. Okay, so what I like to start off with, because of the fact we're going more tanky, I like to do this Centurion to get that extra health when we get that Aura Prime, because then if I'm on the board initiating all team fights, there's no way that you're actually gonna take me down. I mean, I'm pretty much on the field to be a nuisance, chip away at you until later in the game when I can actually just demolish and destroy you. So Centurion is the way I like to go. All of these consumables and ones here, these are situational. I put these in depending on if I'm gonna be laning, if I'm gonna be dual laning, if they may need me to get harvesters up, because unfortunately, I played with quite a few so-called junglers who don't come in with keys. Makes no sense. So I keep a key just in case. Mana pot, because we know that Kyle or Kwang in this case uses a lot of mana. A lot of mana. Sometime if I want to mix it up and actually go with some lifesteal in the beginning to help get an extra push on his lifesteal passive, I will go with the vampiric elixir. And then depending on if I'm laning against some hard hitters in the beginning, I may go with an extra healer token to give me a little bit more health regen. But what we're mainly going to focus on is what this build will consist of, to actually lane with. I actually lane with this build. And I've actually seen myself be able to actually lane in the middle against mages, even with this build. So, first card we want to look at. Early card you want to try to get. It's situational. Sometimes I use wards, sometimes I don't. It really just depends on the team I'm playing against, because you got sometimes people that are overly extended, overly aggressive, pretty much are probably not using wards. Using wards help get your team aware of what's going on the map. But me, I'm pretty good at just constantly looking at the map, so a lot of times I don't need wards. I see things coming before they actually get me. But if you need a ward, keep a ward in. You're going to drop 3 minor strikes on it. 3 minor strikes on that card, because you want to hear them just get a little bit damage boost as you can. What I ideally actually use to start off with is offensive maneuvers. This is really the card I like to try to start with. And the reason why is because of what it gives you. So if we actually go down to this card here, since they don't ever pop this up, they need to actually update this. So offensive maneuvers, you get 6% crit chance. You get plus 44 physical armor, plus 44 energy armor against basic attacks. We're talking about the very beginning of the game. Not too many people have a bunch of moves to use against you yet, so having this little perk at the beginning really helps out. I don't truly update it all the way in the beginning. Most people like to go in and they try to update it like right at the beginning. I usually just grab it for the unique passive in the beginning. I come back and upgrade it later when it's actually needed. So usually I just put it on just for the unique passive, find out who I'm laning against, and then I go for that. So offensive maneuvers, first card you're gonna get. Then you're gonna actually put two wounds. Wow, two wounds and one major wound. I like to try to build 10 cards on a lot of my decks. Some people would say, "Oh yeah, but you kind of taking away." The way this meta works, if you're building the decks at least 10 points per card, you're gonna be pretty effective in game. And you'll be making sure that by the time you get the 6 cards that you're going to use, you're at 60 points. It's less math involved in trying to keep up with how many points you're using. Okay, so remember that one major wound, 2 wounds for this card. Not necessarily having to upgrade them right away. Okay, next card I try to get is going to be based on who I'm laning against. So, because of the awesome offensive maneuvers, pretty much gives me defense against both in the beginning, so I can sustain in the lane longer. If I'm going up against a mage, I like to go for Genesis Torch. If I'm going up against physical, I like to go with the Tempered Plate. So this is going to be situational, depending on who you're laning against. You'll go with either or. What you're going to basically put on yet another 10 card. So we're going to do 1 Divine Barrier and 2. Well, no, actually, I did change this one up. Okay, so because I'm thinking about the way this build used to be. Since they added in penetration as being kind of important now, I did take out one of my barriers and change it to a pierce. So actually, you're going to do 1 Divine Barrier, 1 Barrier, 1 Pierce. That's going to be a level 10 card there. If you're going with Tempered Plate in the beginning, then this one, you're going to do 2 Divine Guards and 1 health. I try to utilize every perk that's on the card when I'm building the card, because, I mean, it makes no sense for a card to have 2 or 3 perks on it and you're just throwing one type of upgrade into the card. Okay, so after we get this taken care of on the offensive maneuvers, I like to actually come over and go into the Blade of Agora. Reason why going to Blade of Agora around this time, you're actually gonna be needing some damage. I actually do throw in 3 major strikes on the Blade of Agora, but because you get that 50% crit bonus, it actually really adds to the attack power. Now, with that being said, reason why I didn't go with a Blade of Agora first is because I try to build to sustain, because I'm laning, and if you're laning against rangers or mages, they can pretty much chip you down without you ever even touching them because they're shooting from a range and Kwang has to get in on them. But because I started with offensive maneuvers, not only is that helping me out against whatever attack type is coming at me, but it adds in that 6% crit chance. So when I actually bring in the 50% crit bonus that you get from Blade of Agora, well, that only activates if you actually have crit chance. If you have no crit chance, then this card is useless. But anyway, once we get the Blade of Agora going in with the 3 major strikes for more attack power, then we start working on adding in more health. So what I basically did was, at one time there used to be a regen card here, ended up being non-effective, and then I used to have a Silver Spear here, yet another card that was not effective. I was experimenting with the deck at the time. What I found out is just adding in the extra health and a little bit more attack power actually benefited me more. So depending on what you think you're gonna need between these two, you could pick either or first. If you're dying a lot, I prefer going with this card, so then that way you can get in some extra health. So what we do is we actually load this one up with nothing but health. So we're doing a divine health and 2 health cards to give you that extra health. Gives you that extra health that you're gonna need. And then Lastly, we're going to go with one more Amulet of Veteran, but this one here we're going to do as a 9-point card. Actually, that's a 10-point. Now it's a 8-point card. My bad, sorry. 8-point card. What it actually does is it stacks with the Blade of Agora because it is a 12-point card here. Another 8 here gives you 20. Oh, sorry about that. My mic was actually cutting off and I kind of lost my train of thought there. So 8-point card with the 12-point card. I always try to do this at least once in a deck. If I know I'm going to do a 12-point card here, what's going to be the 8-point card that's going to stack with it? Since we're doing damage here, we might as well finish out damage there on an 8-point card. That way, the full 20 points that you're spending is all 2 attack points. So the last card that you're actually going to pick up is going to be the last Amulet of Veteran. It's going to be 2 strikes and a health. So when you're actually completely done with this should be able to give you enough at this point to actually be not only protecting your lane without too much worry about the attack type that's coming at you, but it also allows you to be a bully in that lane, pushing it up, killing whoever's in it, trying to, push it back. Also, when initiating team fights, I mean, you get in these team fights, you're the person that's, when everybody else is slowly dying off and the health is slowly trickling away, that most people will notice you still either got full health or half of your health, and you're still being an effective presence. And if they let the guard down too much, they don't realize that you actually hit pretty hard. Alright, so that is my Cal Son of El deck. Feel free to use it. I mean, it seems to be pretty effective for me. I mean, like I said, I've pretty much almost mastered Kwang. I got one more level to go. As you can see, when we're looking at where I'm at, I literally just got to 9 and I'm already working into 9 to get that master suit. Yes, so it seems to be a pretty effective deck. This has been your boy, Cool Convict Gaming. And if you like what you saw, you like this build, feel free to leave me a comment below. Tell me what things you might change. Because, hey, I'm always up for suggestions. Hey, I'm learning this game every day just like you. Every time they make changes, you got to readjust things. But anyway, just let me know. If you like this video and you want to see more of this, hit that like button, subscribe. Let me know how you feel about the Cal Son of El deck.